differences, what did you see the improvement between Wisconsin and Iowa? And I think some of your players said you challenged them and what was the major difference there?
Well, you know, obviously when you play in Wisconsin, Jonathan Taylor's a big difference. I think he's a very, very good player. You know, we got off to a bad start on the road. Made some uncharacteristic, you know, we had some uncharacteristic fits in the run game, and it hurt us. You know, everybody's, you know, in those scenarios, you know, on the outside world, everybody kind of, you know, questions you, but, you know, we felt like, hey, we just got to go to work, clean up our run fits, and again, you know, I'm not making any excuses, trust me. But it was our fourth different offense in 4 weeks. And to say that hasn't been challenging, it has been challenging, and I think, you know, part of our, you know, our upswing is we're kind of getting consistently, we're dealing with similar type plays on a week-to-week basis in the last couple of weeks. So you're obviously, familiarity, you know, gives you a chance to, you know, defend better. You know, you see the plays, you see the footwork of the running back, you see the blocks up front, and you know, our guys can, you know, obviously relate to them because now they've seen those similar blocks, whereas 1 week you're in run and shoot and throwing the ball, and then the second week you're playing Army, they're running the triple, and you know, I mean, that's the schedule, you know, I mean, you're going to play it. But it certainly helps us when you have a little familiarity on a week-to-week basis. And to be honest, Rutgers and then Iowa last week, you know, a lot of the one-back stuff's the same. The difference with Iowa, but you can relate back to Wisconsin, is the two-back fits.
How big was it to have Michael?
How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
How big was it to have Michael Dwumfor back on the defensive line?
Mike had a really good game. You know, it's funny, he texted me the other day, Coach, I jumped some gaps out. It won't happen again. But the thing that Mike brings to the table is the ability to come out of his stance 100 miles an hour, you know, and he creates the ping pong effect in the backfield because he can knock off pullers. He's athletic. And he'll, you know, again, for him, he hasn't played a whole heck of a lot of football lately around here. So, you know, now he's going through another practice week, you know, chance to kind of, you know, sink your teeth into the game plan, sink your teeth into your stance, your footwork, your techniques, your fundamentals, your eyes, all those things. And, you know, he's benefiting, and we're benefiting from his solid play. And his athletic ability is really, you know, I still laugh because I saw somebody posted him running a slant route this summer. And I hate to say where I was sitting when I saw it, so I won't. But I did crack a smile when I saw it.
What do you envision from him, assuming he's able to stay healthy here moving forward?
More activity in the throw game. I mean, you know, those snaps in the pass game, when we're into some of our package stuff, can really, what's the word, exhaust you because it's on your mark, it's set, go. And, you know, I think you'll see him as we move forward, you know, his conditioning level will raise and you'll see him more in those scenarios.
Has he always been the type to text you and say, I missed this play, sorry about it? Or was that new urgency?
No, he texted me the other day when his mom and dad were here, and he said, hey, I'm glad you had a chance to chat with my mom and dad. So that's Mike Dwumfor. Yeah. We have a very good relationship. He's a tremendous young person.
I don't know if this is a question for you, but Carlo Kemp, I think, played one game in 16. Is there a chance that he might come back for next year and just talk about what he's meant to you and how
I hope so.
Yeah. Is that something that you think he's interested in? Or would you have to ask him?
You know, we don't
Sure.
discuss those things, and the man upstairs will discuss
Yeah.
that when the time comes. So, but me personally, I think he's, you know, we joke all the time. Quick Carlo Kemp story. Came here when I came here, he was he was a Mike linebacker. Oh my God! That wasn't going to work. So we moved him to defensive end. So we went from the open side end to the close side end to the 3 technique, and then he became the nose. So he made the complete migration of man, all the way to the nose. Now he's 290 pounds, and he's, I'll tell you, he makes a play on Saturday. They run ISO to Glasgow. His job is to fit the fullback inside, give it to the safety, Metellus, and he's getting doubled. And all of a sudden you see his head stick through, and then all of a sudden he comes out of there, and he's involved in the tackle. It doesn't happen every day. That's 600 pounds of human flesh, and he split it and makes the play. So, no, he's playing very well, strong, so really happy with him.
Is that his best game now, do you feel like?
Yeah,
Is that it?
I do.
And with all those guys, like Mike, him?
You know, the only thing is, I thought his game against the Army was legendary.
Because of the cuts and.
Just to stay in there for as many snaps. I mean, I don't know what coaches that guy, but to stay in there for 60 plus snaps and get, go through that scenario, that's pretty legendary to me anyway. So,
How far ahead do you start, not game planning, but looking? I mean, you've got Penn State coming up. you
week,
got-
2 weeks. Somewhere around the end of, this week, you'll look at next week's. But you gotta be, I'm not that smart. Some guys are really smart.
Pretty smart.
And I have a hard time, when I move my eyes from one to the next. But you have to some degree, just to kind of see what's in front of you. So, but that's really a good question, because everybody has a little different, thought process and how you go about doing your business. Me personally, I find it difficult, but it's a necessary, you got to do it a little bit.
How did you kind of learn to do that just throughout your coaching career? Is it something you've changed at all?
I got some quirks. The practice cards, all the run cards.
Not really.
The graduates,
but-
so you show them to the scout team like this, and you go out and run the play.
Okay.
I draw my own every day. Nobody else draws them. I draw all my own cards. Somewhere around 250 a week. And it's a quirk. But how do you learn as a coach? You learn by seeing the blocking schemes. Oh, this might be, maybe we should do that. So that's where everybody has their own quirks. A lot of the younger guys, they're so with it in terms of the computers and stuff. Me, not so much.
Have you always drawn your own?
Yes.
How long does that take?
Start Sunday, and I finish somewhere around Monday night, 10 o'clock.
Different colors.
Oh, gotta have different writers.
Cramp with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then if you notice, guys will wear little beanies, red hat's a wide out, blue hat's a running back, yellow hat's a tight end, black hat's a fullback.
Yep.
So coloring all those things, so those guys, I know where to go.
Did you get that from anybody, or is that just a thing you've always done yourself?
The coloring of the hats.
Just the drawing them out yourself thing?
The drawing up thing I've always kind of done. The coloring of the hats, right down the road. Coach Pasqualoni, who's the DC with the Lions. I worked for him back in, when I was at UConn in 2011 and 12. And he was the one, Don, is that a yellow hat or a blue hat? So, he's a great football coach, and it was a pleasure to work for him.
A lot was made of Jordan Glasgow on the goal line, and I'm sure you heard the outside noise about that. What was that a fit issue, or what was?
Well, see, I don't want to really get into schematics,
Sure.
but I can promise you this. We had all the gaps covered. Now, the guy playing the week A was going to go there on a fit. And it was depending on if the quarterback was under center or in the gun. That's kind of as far as I'll take it. But I assure you that somebody was going to fit the A gap. Now, yeah, that's it. I'm not going to go. Now, again, I'm saying it was a half blitz, half run fit type deal. So it's half short yardage, half blitz fit based on things that happen in the backfield. I've run it about 60 times in maybe the last 4 or 5 years, and had 0 to negative yardage plays on that scenario 60% of the time. So, obviously, I appreciate people critiquing my stuff, but live and learn too. Adjust as we do. How are you doing?
The turnovers early in the season,
Yeah.
how much did that affect what you were able to
No,
do defensively?
nothing. We have it's not our problem.
But it puts you in, quick change and sometimes difficult field position.
Yep, and that's your life as a defensive player. Your job is to stop them. They give them the ball in the 10, you stop them. You give them the ball in the goal line, you stop them. If you can't stop them, it's either success or failure, period. And, that's the one thing I think. You want to know how it's impacted us? They had some pretty good field position the other day. Our guys, no issue. Let's go. It's a fun group to coach now. I'm sure, obviously everybody has, to work through their scenarios schematically as coaches, as we do as well. The one thing that I can tell you, this group will do everything in their power to be successful in the situation that we put them in. So, I'll coach this group anytime.
You got Aiden and Quiddy, salt and pepper, apparently.
Salt
According
and
to Quiddy,
pepper,
that's
huh?
what Quiddy says, according to Aiden.
Well,
Do you like the way they're shaking things out?
witty today.
Oh, my God.
Very witty.
So witty.
I think, here's my Aiden Hutchinson, okay? I'm looking at this guy, and I'm going, he's gonna be a little stiff, and he's gonna be this, and he's gonna be that. He's just so big, he's gonna have, does not have 1 ounce of stiffness. He's very flexible, extremely strong, but is an elite athlete. I can't think of anybody that's his size that I think is more flexible than he is. Do you know what I mean by, the flexibility thing? You know what I mean? Do things with your body. He's unbelievable. Where Quiddy has come a long way from BC camp when he was a freshman at about 217 pounds. I said it just recently. I don't know, somebody called me and asked me about it. And we were talking about defending the spread run, you know, the quarterback runs, you know, the pulls, all the stuff that, you know, that we see in college football. He is the best spread run defender I've ever seen. Now, why do I say that? Because you can't fool him. Zone read, close out the zone, chase the quarterback from the inside out, check mark. Bluff, now that puller comes back, and instead of trying to kick you out, he bypasses you. Brakes go on, chase the quarterback from the inside out, check mark. He can do all those things like that. It's uncanny. So, you know, we're blessed here with those two guys, and this Michael Dana is a close second. So, you know, we like the way those guys are playing for sure.
How's Quade
Got
feeling?
time for
How
two more questions.
how do you think you've defended the shallow crosses so far this season? Some of the mesh concepts that maybe you've
I
encountered.
think we've done a pretty good job. I think we've given up about 127 yards a game in the pass game. You know, Wisconsin, it was probably the only bright spot we had, was how we've defended the pass. You know, we've mixed in and we're doing some things, you know, coverage-wise, but at the same time, we're still maintaining our aggressive nature, which, I'm gonna say this again so we're all clear. The day somebody tells me that, geez, you know, you gotta tone down that aggressiveness, I'm out. I'm done. You know, I'm just not gonna do it. If you find a way, and there's several ways to be aggressive and challenge offenses and put them on their heels. You sit back on that guy Saturday, he'll carve you up, and try to tackle him on the ground if you're not sending bodies at that guy. Just, hey, you go tackle him. Oh! It's like Ben Roethlisberger's brother, you know? So, joking, obviously, but, you know, I think we've done some good things, you know, package-wise. I really like the way our speed group's playing, and we have 2 or 3 of those kinds of groups, and I like the way they're playing. So, you know, we just got to keep improving, but, you know, it's such, you know, the one thing that I think has changed over the years is more than ever, it's a week-to-week deal. I mean, you see it. How does that team beat that team? How does this team beat that team? Well, it just happens. You don't know who's injured. You don't know who's had a bad week. You know, there's just so many scenarios that you have to deal with to get you from one Saturday to the next. You know, and that's what it's all about. Every week's a new week, and you know, try to put yourself in the best position possible.
The players
last
talked
question.
like about you challenging them to get the 2 interceptions on Stanley, and obviously they ended up getting 3. Just how did you see them attack that during the week?
I think it's, and I'd look for feedback on this, you know, I don't like to get into the negative stuff, but I do like to get into the positive stuff. I don't know if we've played on the back end, playing the ball down the field much better than we could have on Saturday. The one thing that I'm a yeller and a screamer about is, after being a DB coach for 30-something years before moving to linebackers, is wedge, eyes back, play the ball. You know, they caught one fake, but then Levert, I mean, that interception down on the 5-yard line. Wow. I mean, can you really appreciate that play? How good a play that was? I mean, special one, you know, the Daxton Hill on the tip, you know, to Ambry. I thought that was equally as impressive. How about us starting with the fumbles? So, you know, we sent Khalid Hudson up in there, and he kind of rocked into the back of the guard, and ball comes flying out. The Ambry's there again. So, you know, there's some, you know, our turnover total is at this point is better than it's been. It's never good enough because you're always looking for more. But, you know, through the first 5 weeks, you know, I think it's pretty good.
Is McGrone really as fast as Devin Bush?
Huh?
McGrone really almost as fast as Devin?
Yes. That guy is 230 pounds.